Hey guys, Chris here with Super Savvy Travelers. Hey, quick reminder, if you're looking at buying a property in Italy, take our course. Everything we know about buying a property and moving to Italy. Look for the details down below. Hi guys, Chris here with Super Savvy Travelers. Hey, I know so many of you guys are contacting me about these ruins and things that you're seeing in Italy, and it's just such a beautiful thought that you're going to go in and you're going to take on this thing and you're going to turn it into an absolute beauty. We've all seen Under the Tuscan Sun, and we just love how the heroine, pays the last dime she has for this beautiful villa in Italy. And then she spends months, ripping out walls and fixing it all up with her cute little guys and everything else. And, that's kind of fiction. I mean, I know probably Frances Mays, who wrote it, probably wrote it somewhat autobiographically, but in the movie she says, oh, here's my last dime, this is all I've got, I'm gonna offer it to you for the house. So then she gets the house and you're like, okay, great. And apparently all the renovations were then for free, which is not true. So, it's beautiful. I love that movie, but don't be wafted away with the idea that it's all going to come right for, a few bucks, because it's not. Structural issues like that are costly. Anyway, so the question today is, should I take on a renovation project in Italy? And I have some questions that you really should ask yourself before you start looking at those types of things. The first one is, how ruined is ruin? Now, I have met with people that were like, yeah, we could do all the work ourselves, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, wow, okay, that's really great. And I have no doubt that some people can do that. But the truth is, a ruin in Italy is a ruin. Okay, it is. We're talking about floors and ceilings caved in. We're talking about roofs caved in. We're talking about walls that probably have lost a little bit of their structural integrity, because when the roof gives in, the rain comes in and it pushes those old ancient walls apart, and sort of turns them into dust. I think you've seen ruins in various stages of deconstruction after the roof caves in, cracks in the walls, and then pretty soon they fall down. There's a point beyond which you don't want to try to renovate it without realizing you're going to have to take it all the way down to the bottom and start up again. Okay, so that's the first question. How ruined is ruined? The second one, the thing that you want to notice, the thing that you want to remind yourself, is a cheap price for the property itself does not mean that it's going to be cheap when you're done. Like I said, some of these ruins are extremely ruined. Back in the 1800s and 1900s, there was the Italian diaspora, especially from southern Italy, in the Mezzogiorno region, which is Basilicata, Campania, Calabria, Puglia, those regions. And people just left and abandoned their homes. They got tired of eking out a meager existence with the harsh sun and the climate and stuff there that made farming extremely difficult. So they came over to America and they pretty much stayed there, and they abandoned their properties. So many of what you see now, like the €1 properties and the properties that are abandoned and being sold for next to nothing, are generally those types of properties. They've been abandoned for a long time. Maybe some family member still stays there and they just want to offload it for a few €1,000s. Great. Understand that when you take on a property like that, not only do you take on, all the benefits of owning a property in Italy, but you also take on the liabilities, okay? And you've got to make sure you understand all of them before you take that on. A $5,000 ruin could be a lot more when you go to renovate it. And then also, depending on what's around it, you just got to know exactly what your liabilities are when you take that on. Okay, the next thing is that structural issues that have to be done are expensive. And like I said, a ruin in Italy, many of the ruins in Italy are really ruined. I mean, they have, you have to replace the floors and the ceilings. You have to sometimes fix the walls whose structural integrity has been damaged because of roof leaks or whatever. You have to put a new roof on. All of these things cost money, and they cost a pretty penny. It's not like putting in tile or something like that. These things cost. You don't get them back with a prettiness factor, right? So these are things that you don't even see. They're just things that have to get you ready before you start putting all the pretty stuff on there. So understand that's where things get pretty pricey. Another question is, how long is it going to take to fully renovate this property? Some of them are over a year project. I know one of them in Santa Dominica is a 2.5 year project for this massive palazzo that we have there. It's gorgeous. You can sometimes renovate things in bits and pieces and live in part of it while they're renovating the other part. That's also very doable. So, but it's something that you want to pay attention to, is how long is it going to take? The other question is, how much money do you have to spend on a renovation? And that is the big question, probably the biggest question, right? If you have unlimited funds to spend on a renovation, go for it. Go have a great time, because I have seen some ruins and things like that the person really just wanted their own perfect place, and they just pulled out all the stops and all the bells and whistles, and they are just stunning properties. And if that's what you want, go do it. More power to you, because I love those properties. Most of us don't have unlimited finances, and we do have to pay attention to things like that. So you really have to get a really good idea of what that thing is going to cost before you make an offer on the property. The other question is, where is it located? If you're talking about property markets and things like that, it is very, very easy in some of these locations, especially like in the interior part of Sicily and some parts of Calabria and that, you know, the distant remote hill towns, a lot of the ones that are offering the €1 houses. It is very easy to over improve the property that you have. So if you're thinking in terms of resale, you really need to look at that. Now, if you're just going, like for us, you know, in Calabria, we're not looking at resale. We love our house. We were never going to sell it. We absolutely adore everything there. So that wasn't an issue for us. If it is an issue, you really have to look at how much can I improve the property to where I don't over improve it and end up losing money if I'm going to turn it around at some point. Very important question. Another issue you want to look at is, do you want to rent it out when you're not there? And that comes back to location. Is there a rental market in that location? And if so, again, if you're improving it in order to get income from it, or you know, you have an idea towards doing a little business or something like that, you really have to look at that very carefully, because there are some places that American tourists just don't go, and they're not really huge tourist attractions. The location is everything if you want a rental market, or if you even want a resale market. So that's something to look at. You could end up, like I said, over improving the property so you never get out of it what you put into it. But also, if you're going to rent it out, you may have to rent to infinity in order to get your money back on that. The other question is, do you have patience? Patience is not only a virtue, it is an absolute must if you're going to be renovating, and especially if you're going to be renovating a ruin. Like I said, the ruins are pretty ruined, and God knows what they're going to find in the walls there. I think you all watched the video where I talked about Salvatore discussing the fact with me that he had taken down a wall in the back of the village and found a head in it. And an ancient head. It wasn't like a crime scene head, you know. It was some sort of brigand / I don't know, God knows what kind of head, but it was somebody's head in the wall. So you never know what you're going to find in these particular renovations. And there may be setbacks, there may be problems, there may be extra expenses. You have to just factor all that in. If you're good with that, you're like, okay, someday it'll get done. It's fine. I'm just happy that it's, you know, in progress. Then you'll do fine. The other question is, can you handle setbacks? If you don't get stressed out by those types of things, then renovating a ruin is probably something you could really enjoy. Another question is, are you creative when it comes to problem solving? And this is really, actually, I have to say that the renovations that Pete and I have been doing, both here in the US and in Italy, we love problem solving. To us, it's like a puzzle. You know, yeah, of course we get upset when, oh gosh, well, this came up, and then we freak out for about 5 minutes, and then we sit down and go, okay, how are we going to work around this? And we always come up with a workaround. And it's actually kind of the fun part of having a renovation project. So if you're good with that and you're really creative with finding a way around things, you'll do well. The other question is, are you good at handling people? And sometimes you have to handle them remotely if you're going to do a renovation project from the US or from another country. It can be difficult to get your communication across and understood on an email line, for instance. The pictures that come across, I would never, you know, paint pictures and things like that. You just can't tell on email or through pictures or anything. I have to tell you a funny story. I was doing a renovation several years ago, and I found this beautiful lavender in a magazine. I'm like, oh, this is so pretty. And I showed my contractor, this was in America, and I said, Angel, I want this color. Look how beautiful. Oh yeah, he agreed. It was just gorgeous. Well, he got the paint, he put it on the wall, and it looked like Barney the dinosaur had been in a dumpster for several weeks. I mean, that bad. It was like this dead, muddy purple. And I walked in, I just went, I tried to like it. I said, okay, let me see how it goes for like a day. I tried so hard to like it, and then I just said, no, it's just horrible. It's just horrible. I couldn't even make myself like it, even though I was trying really hard. So I had him, then I got a paint chip like a smart woman did and made sure it worked and got some samples and stuck them on the wall. And then Angel repainted it, and it was the lavender that I wanted. But those kind of things can be a little bit funny, and you might get there and find something totally different than what you thought. So handling people, communications, all those things over a remote distance is a really, really important thing. Another thing that I want to add is, I used to be the type of person that got mad at things. Oh, I'm so mad, And boy, that never worked for me. Patience, tolerance, understanding the other guy's viewpoint, that is the magic elixir for getting things done and keeping people willing to work with you. Understand they're doing the best they can. They're trying so hard to please you with the products that they're getting. And it's already upsetting to them if it's not what you want. But then if you get mad on top of it, good luck getting anything done. And that's anywhere. Italy, America, any place else. People want to be acknowledged for their willingness and what they've done so far. So that brings up, what is your best bet? If you want to do a renovation project, but you don't want to spend the earth and wait forever for it to be done. So happily, there are many properties, probably all over Italy, that just need a little bit of love. Maybe they need new plaster on the inside, maybe a new tile job, maybe you need to put in a balcony. Not that expensive in southern Italy. I think we paid 1,500 euros for one of our new balconies. I would pay 1,500 euros for a balcony with a sea view. So, there's a lot you can do, a lot you can do for not very much money. Kitchens over there are not 100,000 euros or dollars like they are here. You can get them I saw some nice kitchens for 6,000-7,000 euros, even at IKEA, which was pretty interesting to me. It's a very different scene over there than it is here. Bathroom fixtures, not expensive. New shower boxes, not expensive. Tile, all of those things. You could go into a house that looks really like pretty bad, and then just do all the finishes, and not very much money later, you could have a gorgeous property. So that, I think, is the best bet. You find a place that has the location you want, it has the orientation, meaning the light coming in that you want. You find out where you can put your windows and balconies, and if there's any restrictions on that, and that works. Most of the walls are where you want them, that kind of thing, and just tile, plaster, the finishes, and you can really walk out with a beautiful product. So that is what I would recommend if you want to go over and do a renovation project. Now, again, if you're married to the idea of taking a ruin and turning it into something spectacular, please do, because it's gorgeous. And some are more ruined than others too. So each ruin must be evaluated on its own merits. And you can decide when you get over there. Definitely write me at info@supersavvytravelers.com. See you soon.